Welcome to HelpGrow Academy, where JAMB Physics becomes simple, clear, and easy to conquer. Every second here, take you closer to your dream score, whether it's 250, 280, or 300 plus. We break down real JAMB style questions, step by step, no confusion, no stress. So stay focused because your journey to physics mastery starts right now. The first question we have says, which of the following is an example of a vector quantity? Which of the following is an example of a vector quantity? A. Mass, B. Speed, C. Time, and D. Force. The correct answer here is option D. Force. A vector quantity has both magnitude, which is size, and direction. A force, such as a pull or a push, always acts in a specific direction, making it a vector. The other options are scalar quantities, which have only magnitude but no direction. The second question says, when a liquid is heated, the average kinetic energy of its molecules dash. When a liquid is heated, the average kinetic energy of its molecule dash. A. Increases, B. Decreases, C. Remains constant, and D. Cannot be determined. The correct option here is option A. It increases. Temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy of a substance molecule. As heat is added to a liquid, its molecules move faster, causing their average kinetic energy to increase, which we observe as a rise in temperature. So the correct option there is option A. It increases. A typical example is heating of water. When you boil water, the molecules tend to move faster, causing their average kinetic energy to increase. The next question we have says, a car is moving on a circular track at a constant speed. The car's velocity is dash. A car is moving on a circular track at a constant speed. The car's velocity is dash. A. Constant, B. Changing, C. 0, and D. Constant but in a different direction. The correct option is option B. Changing. Remember, velocity is a vector quantity, meaning it includes both speed and direction. Now, even though the car's speed is constant, its direction is continuously changing as it moves around the circular path. Therefore, its velocity is also changing. So the correct option there is option B. A car moving in a circular path at a constant speed. The car's velocity is changing. Question 4 says, why does a prism separate white light into different colors? Why does a prism separate white light into different colors? A. Reflection, B. Diffraction, C. Interference, and D. Dispersion. The correct answer there is option D. Dispersion. Now, what is dispersion? Dispersion is a phenomenon where white light splits into different color components. This happens because each color of light travels at a slightly different speed through the glass prism and is therefore bent or refracted by a different amount. Also note that this happens because each color of light has a different wavelength. So the correct option there is option D. Dispersion. Question 5 says, in a vacuum, the speed of all electromagnetic waves from the radio waves to gamma rays is dash. In a vacuum, the speed of all electromagnetic waves from radio waves to gamma rays is dash. A. The difference of each wave type, B. Dependent on their frequency, C. The same constant value, and D. Varies depending on the source. The correct option is option C. The same constant value. Now, all electromagnetic waves travel at the same speed in a vacuum. Please note, this is a fundamental constant of physics known as the speed of light, and it is given by the value 3 times 10 raised to the power 8 meters per second. That is the speed of light. So the correct option is option C. They travel at the same constant value. Question 6 says a positively charged rod is brought near a neutral metallic sphere, causing the sphere to become polarized. If the rod is removed without touching the sphere, what is the net charge on the sphere? Option A, positive. Option B, negative. Option C, neutral. And option D, dependent on the sphere's material. The correct answer is option C, neutral. Let's explain. Please note that this process is known as induction. The charge rod only redistributes the existing charges in the neutral sphere. The rod pulls the negative charge towards itself and pushes the positive charges away. No charge is transferred from the rod to the sphere. Now when the rod is removed, the charges in the sphere simply returns to their original or neutral distribution. Therefore, the net charge on the sphere is neutral. Question 7 says, what happens to the pitch of a sound if its frequency is increased? What happens to the pitch of a sound if its frequency is increased? A. The pitch gets higher. B. The pitch gets lower. C. The pitch remains the same. And D. The loudness of the sound increases. The correct answer there is option A. The pitch gets higher. Now let's explain. The pitch of a sound is determined by its frequency. A higher frequency corresponds to a higher pitch, and a lower frequency corresponds to a lower pitch. The amplitude of the wave, not the frequency, determines the loudness. So the correct option there is option A. The pitch gets higher if the frequency is increased. Question 8 says, the principle that explains why you can see an object even when it is not a source of light itself is dash. The principle that explains why you can see an object even when it is not a source of light itself is dash. A. Refraction. B. Reflection. C. Absorption. And D. Diffraction. The correct option is option B. Reflection. We see non-luminous objects because light from a source like the sun or a light bulb reflects off their surface and enters our eyes. This is the principle of reflection. The next question says, why does an electric current passing through a wire produces a magnetic field? Why does an electric current passing through a wire produce a magnetic field? Option A. The electric current cancels out the magnetic field. Option B. Moving electric charges creates a magnetic field. Option C. The wire material is naturally magnetic. And option D. The wire becomes a permanent magnet. The correct answer here is option B. Moving electric charges creates a magnetic field. This is a fundamental concept in electromagnetism. A moving electric charge, which is what an electric current is, generates a magnetic field. The reverse is also true. A changing magnetic field can produce an electric current. Therefore, the correct option is option B. Moving electric charges creates a magnetic field. The final question we have here says, according to the law of conservation of energy, the total energy in a closed system is dash. A. Increases over time. B. Decreases over time. C. Is always zero. And D. Remains constant. Now this question is a bonus question. If you have followed this video down to this point, kindly like, subscribe, share and leave the answer to this question in the comment section. Remember, physics isn't just about memorizing facts. It's about understanding the concept behind each answer. That's exactly how you outsmart tricky exams questions. Together, we'll make sure you don't just pass, you dominate your exam. Until next time, keep practicing, keep pushing, and keep winning. See you in the next class.